13 days until the NBA playoffs begin. Luka Dončić has a grade 2 hamstring strain with a standard recovery window of 4 to 8 weeks. And he just booked a trip to Europe. Per Shams Charania, following consultation with both Lakers team doctors and his own personal medical team, Luka Dončić will seek specialized medical treatment in Europe for his grade 2 left hamstring strain, with the specific goal of compressing his recovery timeline and returning to play this postseason. That update landed immediately after the Lakers lost to Dallas in their first game without both Luka and Austin Reaves, a performance so poor on both ends of the court that it removed any remaining doubt about how dependent this team is on one player. The entire 2026 Lakers season now rests on what happens in Europe over the next 2 weeks. Well, this is not a story about one missed game. This is a story about whether the Los Angeles Lakers have any meaningful postseason left at all. Before getting to the treatment decision and what it could mean, the medical reality of what Luka Dončić is actually dealing with needs to be clearly established. A grade 2 hamstring strain is defined medically as a partial tear of the muscle. It is not a minor pull or a strain that resolves itself with rest in a few days. The standard recovery timeline for a grade 2 hamstring injury is a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks, with cases involving more significant partial tears extending to 8 weeks of recovery before a return to full athletic activity is considered safe. So the risk attached to returning before that window closes is specific and serious. An athlete who returns to high-intensity competition before the muscle has adequately healed risks converting a grade 2 partial tear into a grade 3 strain, which is a complete tear of the hamstring muscle. A grade 3 hamstring tear carries recovery consequences that extend well beyond the current season, with short-term, intermediate, and potentially long-term effects that could directly impact Luka's availability and performance heading into the 2026-27 NBA season. That is the medical framework inside which every decision being made right now is operating. The update itself, per Shams Charania, is specific, following consultation with Lakers team doctors and his own independent medical team. Luka Dončić has decided to travel to Europe to seek specialized treatment. The stated objective is to expedite his return, targeting a compressed recovery window of 2 to 4 weeks rather than the standard 4 to 8 week timeline he was given following the MRI on his left hamstring. This is Luka's own initiative. He is not being managed conservatively and waiting out the timeline. He is actively pursuing every possible medical pathway to get back on the court this season. The specific nature of the treatment he is seeking in Europe has not been publicly confirmed. What has been confirmed is the destination, the goal, and the decision itself. The historical precedent for this kind of approach within the NBA is real. Kobe Bryant traveled to Germany to receive knee injections that aided his recovery and extended his career. LeBron James visited a specialist foot doctor in Germany with documented positive results. Both cases established that European sports medicine specialists have offered treatments and protocols that were not available or accessible to those athletes in the United States at the time. Luka Dončić is now betting on the same possibility existing for his hamstring. To understand exactly what is at stake with this decision, the game the Lakers played without him against Dallas provides the clearest possible picture. The Lakers lost. They lost without Luka Dončić and without Austin Reaves, their two primary offensive and organizational forces, and the performance on both ends of the court was poor from the opening minutes. LeBron James carried the entire offensive operation, playing 41 minutes as the primary ball handler, at a role that is not his natural function within this team's system. Despite that extraordinary individual effort, the Lakers still surrendered 140 points and could not generate enough defensive stops to stay competitive. LeBron recorded what may have been a historic performance in terms of facilitating. The team finished with 36 assists, identified as one of their season highs. And yet it was not enough because the defense was simply not there. JJ Redick addressed the loss directly after the game and did not minimize what happened. I think beyond that, it was we didn't start the game the right way and just played catch-up the rest of the game. He also identified the defensive breakdown as the central problem. We've got to be able to get stops. I mean, that's the biggest thing. The team gave up open threes early. Yao could not get into their defensive rotations and allowed Flag to draw 17 free throws, a number that reflects a team that was not executing its defensive assignments at any point during the game. Redick also addressed LeBron's workload with specificity. 41 minutes as the primary ball handler for a player whose natural role on this roster is not lead guard is not a normal thing, and Redick acknowledged it likely contributed to LeBron not having a strong shooting night. The team's record when recording 29 or more assists in a game stands at 22-1, now 2 losses following the Dallas defeat. That number tells you the Lakers are capable of generating ball movement and offensive efficiency at an elite level. What it does not fix is the defensive identity that disappears without the personnel required to execute it. Yet Redick was direct about the path forward. We've got to have the commitment to do it on both ends, and that's the reason that we've put ourselves in the position to be in the playoffs. Because we became a really good offensive team and a really good defensive team. The operative phrase is on both ends. Because what the Dallas game demonstrated is that this roster, without its 2 most important players, cannot consistently do both simultaneously. The playoff timeline creates a pressure on this situation that cannot be overstated. The NBA play-in tournament begins in approximately 13 to 14 days, depending on the specific matchup. The first round of the NBA playoffs follows directly after. Luka Dončić was given a standard recovery window of 4 to 8 weeks following his MRI. Under normal recovery protocols, he would not be cleared to return to full competitive action before the Lakers' postseason run would be effectively over. The only pathway to Luka being available at any point during the 2026 postseason runs directly through the specialized treatment in Europe, producing results that standard recovery timelines do not accommodate. Even if that treatment compresses the timeline to the 2 to 4 week range being targeted, the math remains extremely tight. The play-in begins before the shorter end of even that compressed window closes. The most realistic scenario for any Luka involvement this postseason would be a first-round return, and only under the condition that the treatment delivers exceptional results. The risk conversation attached to this decision is the one that matters most from a long-term perspective. Luka pursuing every available pathway to return is a documented fact. The concern is not his commitment. It is the medical consequence of returning before the hamstring muscle has adequately healed. Converting a grade 2 partial tear into a grade 3 complete tear by returning too early would transform a painful but manageable injury into one with recovery consequences that extend months beyond the current season. A grade 3 hamstring tear carries the realistic possibility of affecting Luka Dončić's availability and physical condition heading into training camp for the 2026-27 season, which is an outcome that neither the player nor the organization wants under any circumstances. The only condition under which a return to playoff competition is medically and strategically sound is if Luka is very close to fully recovered, if not completely recovered before he steps back on the court. A return where he is carrying a minute restriction, visibly hampered, or unable to function at his actual level does not serve the Lakers or Luka. It only increases the probability of a worse injury outcome. The contrast between what the Lakers are with a healthy Luka Dončić and what they are without him is not a marginal performance gap. Without Luka and Austin Reaves, the Dallas game showed a team that surrendered 140 points, could not generate meaningful defensive stops, and required LeBron James to play 41 minutes in an unnatural role just to stay on the floor. With a healthy Luka, this roster transitions from a team facing a likely first-round exit in 4 or 5 games to a team capable of making a deeper and more competitive playoff run. Luka Dončić is the primary offensive engine, the primary ball handler, and the primary decision-maker for this organization. Redick acknowledged the unresolved structural issue his absence creates. The team needs to identify a second ball handler, and that position remains open without him. The difference his presence makes is not tactical. It is the difference between a team with a ceiling and a team without one. The Lakers' playoff situation now operates on 2 clearly defined tracks. Track 1. Luka arrives in Europe. The specialized treatment compresses his recovery into the 2 to 4 week window being targeted. He returns close to full health for a first-round appearance, and the Lakers become a legitimate postseason threat. Track 2. The treatment does not deliver results fast enough. Feel Luka either misses the playoffs entirely or returns in a physically compromised state, and the Lakers exit the first round, potentially without winning a single game. The NBA community and the Lakers fan base are now operating in a wait-and-see position with no confirmed timeline, no confirmed treatment details, and no guarantee of any specific outcome. One player, one injury, one trip to Europe. The balance of the 2026 Lakers season rests entirely on what those 2 weeks produce. Drop your prediction in the comments right now. Does Luka Dončić make it back for the 2026 NBA playoffs? And if he does, how far do the Lakers go? And answer the second question too. Should the Lakers risk Luka's long-term health for this postseason run, or shut him down entirely and protect the 2026-27 season? If you want every update on Luka's treatment, get his return timeline and the Lakers' full playoff picture the moment it develops, subscribe and turn on notifications, because this story moves fast and the next update changes everything.